You've put your blood, sweat, and tears into creating a storefront that lights you up, serves your clients well, and contributes significantly to the community you love. You are my hero, and I affectionately call you a rebel woman. Hey there, my name is Melissa Rose, a brick-and-mortar business owner with a handful of kiddos and a few passion projects that I head up like this one. I'm also your visibility coach and consultant for a service-based business like yours. I'm passionate about helping small business owners thrive in their community and become the only option in town for their industry. In this podcast, we're going to share the nitty-gritty of running a successful brick-and-mortar business by sharing stories, talking strategies, and learning practical tips to run a kick-ass business. Ready to be inspired, empowered, and equipped to create the small business of your dreams? Let's get real.
Hey there, brick-and-mortar business owner. How are you? Happy New Year. Today is January 1st when I'm recording. My boys are on the ski hill, and I am actually back home working because it's quiet and peaceful. However, I did bribe them, y'all. I said, if you guys want me to take you to the ski hill, you're going to help me take down the Christmas decorations. And they did it, and we did it in record time so they could get to the ski hill. I hope you guys had a great holiday and were able to create some memories and capture some awesome photos I have on my stories to share. Please share a highlight of your year, maybe the best photo of the year, the one that makes you smile, the one that says, you know what, this was my day, was my perfect moment. I hope you had many of those throughout the year, but please share. I would love to see them. I am, as always, excited about today's episode because I was talking to a business owner who ran a franchise, and they were talking about getting visible in outer areas. They said, I get really visible when we Google in our zip code. However, I want to be found 40 miles away, and that's not working for me. And of course, I had some tips and tools and thought, you know what, this would be a really good episode. So before we dive in, go grab your most popular social post and bring it over to your Google Business Profile. What do I mean by that? You're going to go grab my Google Business Profile workshop. It's a 30-minute workshop, and it will help you be found, liked, and trusted faster so that those people are finding you from 30, 40 miles away. And we are going to dive into that a little bit deeper in this episode because I know that's a legit concern. Now, you can put some ad money behind your Google business profile or, your posts. You can do some Google ads or you can do some Facebook ads. But today we're going to talk all about being organic. All right. So do that Google business profile update. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, of course, go to msmelissarose.com/deals to grab that workshop. It's free. I also have another one there for you, and that's where all the things are. But I really want to help you get found organically because once you've exhausted all those resources, then it's time to put some money behind it, okay? And most business owners are really having to make ends meet just with the day-to-day operations of rent and overhead and team and providing the service, that there isn't usually a lot of money left over for paid advertisement yet. All right, so that's why we want to exhaust all these resources. So today's episode is actually going to be a two-part episode because as I was going through this, I was like, this is getting a little meaty and I want to provide value. I want to provide information that you're going, oh my gosh, I haven't done that yet. I need to do that. So as we dive into a new year here, I'm sure your goal is to grow. Most of us want to grow because if we're not growing, we're dying. And I hate saying that because it sounds so negative, but let's be real. We don't want to plateau. We don't want to make the same amount of money next year because the cost of inflation and food and gas and all the things, then you're ending up lower, okay? So even if you pulled out the exact same revenue, it's still not growing. So we need to grow. And maybe that's price increase, maybe that's customer increase, maybe that's taking down your overhead or taking down your payroll. Maybe there's some added payroll expenses there that don't need to be there anymore. However it is, but you must grow in order to keep going. So today we're going to dive into that. All right. The first thing is your local SEO optimization. So that's what I was referring to your Google business profile. You need to make sure it's updated and accurate. And in my workshop, I talk about doing this yearly. And once you do the nuts and bolts of it the first time, it really is just going back to it yearly, maybe setting aside 90 minutes, not even that long, yearly, just to go through, make sure everything's correct. You guys, I'm speaking at an event at the end of the month. And if you are a dance studio owner, you should totally be there in the Twin Cities area. And it is January 27th, 28th. Sorry for the shameless plug, but I am speaking on making your business the only option in town. I'm going to put the link in the bio here so that if you are a studio owner or dance educator, please come to this. There's going to be training geared for studio owners and dance educators. But I have been calling on studio owners in the Twin Cities area and around, so within like an hour and a half radius of the Twin Cities, and I am blown away and baffled at how many of them are not optimizing this Google business profile, okay? And I'm picking on them, but it's so many businesses, okay? So please make sure all the stuff is there. Now, here is an advanced tip, and it is shown in the Google Business Workshop, okay? So I break it down on how to do this, but you need to make sure that you are using keywords in descriptions, okay? Taking all those keywords, making sure that you are getting Google business reviews from people in those areas, all right? So if you have clients that are an hour away, make sure you get a Google business review from them, all right? The other thing is to geotag your pictures, all right? So when you update your Google business profile, you're usually taking a graphic, but you can also put in photos. And this is where I recommend you do this, quarterly, for sure yearly, but you should do it more if you're genuinely trying to improve traffic. And you can geotag those pictures. Now, if you are an Apple user, as soon as you take a photo, it tells you, if you click info on that picture, it will tell you the latitude, longitude of where that photo was taken, right? We can manipulate that in the editing of that picture, all right? So if you edit that photo to a location 40 miles away and then upload it to your Google business profile, that will help your SEO in that area, okay? So that is for Apple user. If you're not an Apple user, you need to Google how to do that, okay? I'm not even going to pretend to explain. But you can geotag your pictures, and that is an advanced way to get your SEO working for you, okay? All right, number 2, quality content creation. What do I mean by that? So many people just put out content to put out content. Check the box. All right, but we need to really pay attention to our client. Who is our demographic? What is going to relate to them? The words, the language, the inside scoop, the stories. Okay, so every meme that you see that makes you laugh, pay attention to that, especially on social. Okay, so I'm talking about a social meme. For example, I'm at an age when I turn the seat warmer on in my car, not because it's cold, but to help my back because it's aching. Okay, so I botched that really bad right there. However, the meme was way more concise and hysterical. I busted out laughing. I shared it, and I got some traction, engagement in my stories with that. Okay, so think about what pulls your focus. Now, can you bring that humor or bring those phrases and ideas into your marketing for your products or service? Make sure you are, okay? Think about what your people are saying. If your demographic is 50 and older, that meme is going to resonate with them, okay? All right, so think about, I always like humor. Okay, humor is a great way to pull people in. Okay, but make sure that you are really paying attention to that. Sometimes we get lazy and we just check the box of what's being put out there. And I'm genuinely talking about the social media because as a franchise owner, many of you don't have control over your website. You might, and I'm speaking from this business owner's perspective, they had no control over their blogs that they put out and very little over their website on what they can control there, okay? However, they had great, like if you Googled them, their website popped right up. However, they couldn't manipulate that. So most franchise owners don't have control over that. So that's where I'm talking about social media, being very, very intentional and working really hard at that. It's not necessarily more. You don't need to put more out, okay? If you have a mediocre, I'm just going to say pizza, like, it doesn't matter, You want great pictures and great hooks and great content or copy every time. So that if that only means twice a week, that's fine. It's good quality content that's getting engagement. And that goes into number 3, the engagement of the social media. So you have to engage with people. You cannot just post and ghost. And some of us do this a lot because we're scheduling out our posts, and I am guilty of this. I fully am guilty of this with my personal stuff, with my business stuff. I post and ghost because I'm helping clients with their social media, and I'm very intentional about going on their accounts and posting and then sharing and commenting and all the things for them. Okay, so that's my excuse. No excuse, but that's the problem I have. It's just the time management there. So really being active. If somebody comments on your stuff, you don't just, like, I love the analogy of a restaurant. Like if you are at a restaurant and the restaurant owner, for example, let's say you're the owner of the restaurant and you walk past the table and somebody says, oh my gosh, this food is so good, thank you so much. You wouldn't just walk past and ignore them. You would engage with them. You would say, oh my gosh, thank you so much. Where are you coming in from? And you'd start having a conversation because you are the business owner and they are at your restaurant. The same thing goes for you with your business on social media. If somebody comments, likes, reacts, you need to engage with them, all right? And I don't like just a heart. I like, oh my gosh, you got that too, or I laughed so hard there when I saw that. Whatever it is, just to connect and be a little bit more than just a click or a heart or a tap, whatever it is for that platform, okay? Use local-based hashtags to increase your post visibility in those areas, all right? Share local news and events, all right, to show that you're connecting to the community. I do this with one of my restaurants that I help with their marketing. We know what your restaurant offers, okay? Most restaurants, guess what they do? They just show the food. But what's been really working for us in this restaurant that I help out is sharing what's going on in the community. The high school, the sports teams, the nonprofits in the area. I share that on their stories and on their feeds, and you guys, that gets more traction than any social media about their food. All right. However, as you know, with the algorithm, we want engagement. So however it comes, if it comes by sharing somebody else's content on their feed, and now we get 15, 20, 40 likes, shares, whatever it is, that helps the algorithm see the next post, which happens to be about food. All right. So how can you do that? If you are a local brick and mortar, we want to be highlighting things in our community. When I first started my business, I was way before my time. I always joke about that. But I used to do 90-second videos that I would send out. And this was in 2016 and 2017. Every other Sunday, I would send out a 90-second video to my email list. And one of the things I did was highlight a show or a play or a musical in the area. And I said, this is a great date night for moms and dads, or this is a great family thing. And I was highlighting my area and then becoming a resource for my community that, oh, Miss Melissa said we should go to the Ordway because there's this really great play. All right. So think about that, how you can help be a resource so that people are then looking at your social media. If you're just not becoming helpful to them, they're just going to scroll right past it. They're going to not open your email. You need to be super important for them. Okay. All right. This is getting plenty long, so I'm going to cut it off here. So our first 3 are your local SEO optimization, and that is through your Google business profile. The best way to get that is to grab my workshop. Go to MsMelissaRose.com/deals. Number 2 is creating quality content. And I talked about that with relating to your client, your demographic, what their needs and wants and desires are so that you can truly speak to them. And then taking it a step further with our engagement on our socials. Okay? So if you are not loving socials, I'm sorry, it's a necessary evil in business. If you want help with that, I am happy to help with you. You can go to MsMelissaRose.com/deals and click the tab to work with me, find out more there, and then schedule a 20-minute call so we can connect, chat, and see if working together is right for us. All right, y'all? I hope this was helpful. Next week, we're going to go into the next 3 steps of creating better visibility if you are a franchise. But even if you're not a franchise, you are going to get value out of this. All right? Share it with your favorite brick and mortar business owner, and I will see you here same time, same place next week. Peace. Bye-bye.